Vicky, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, I spit raps like a heart attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out, remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now, I'm gonna make you bleed out. Listen on repeat now and weed out all the weak now. Get up and make a change, don't remember yesterday. If you got something to say, speak your mind before your grave, cause your life is yours to save. Ain't nobody gonna change, everybody stays the same. So be different, make a name,
like
huh?
a soldier, I keep on moving forward, always getting closer. I march until it's over, and just like a soldier, I keep on moving forward, always getting closer. I march until it's over, and just like a soldier.
What's up, guys? What's going on? Technically this video would have been for yesterday, but I got some good news in regards to my future. So I was a little hesitant to really drop anything. I kind of just wanted to chill and take in everything. Now, granted, everything's not finished yet. I have to wait until Friday to clarify and see how things go. But yeah, no, I was in a really good mood, and I still am. I'm very happy of my future. Now, this is like a take two on this video because I came across a little angry. And one thing about me, I hate doing that in video form. I want to absolutely come out here with a good critique, an honest conversation or an honest point, and we just go from there. As you guys already know, and as you guys can clearly see by the fanboys, either in my comment section or on Twitter, being honest or just being critical in general is frowned upon in general. Now, we're not going to go into that. We're just going to talk about a few particular things here, and we're just going to close the video. That's simple. So as you guys already are aware, PlayStation 5 Pro has already been out for a couple of days now in regards to the pre-orders. The console's not out yet, of course, but since the pre-orders have been up, the PlayStation 5 Pro is still, as we speak, you can still go on PlayStation Direct, etc., and add it to your cart and buy the system. There is nothing stopping this console, it seems, from absolutely, quote unquote, selling out. The console has been like literally in stock since it was officially opened. There was one particular console that did sell out, but we already knew this was going to be the case because scalpers were going to go crazy for it, and that was the PlayStation 5 Pro 30th Anniversary Edition. Everything in regards to that particular 30th anniversary line was sold out in record time. And of course, this led to a lot of people going to social media and using this as some kind of dub. Mind you, there was only 12,000 of these made. So when you have such a limited supply in that particular capacity, of course, those are going to sell out in record time. What's crazy about the situation, though, is just seeing the amount of ridiculous comments in regards to it. Dudes saying like, oh, see, everybody wanted one, blah, blah, blah. Yet I can literally go online right now and buy a PS5 Pro, etc. No hiccups. Doesn't make sense, right? I know it doesn't. Listen, there is a lot of weird comments in regards to this. And quite frankly, it's very unhealthy. It doesn't look good for the future of PlayStation. And in many ways, it has set us back more steps than a lot of you could possibly imagine. The fact that a lot of people are even damage controlling the point of the disk drive for PlayStation 5 Pro is an even more dangerous territory for the future in regards to PlayStation 6. Physical media needs to still exist for PlayStation 6. Even though I have talked about that multiple times with you on this platform of why I do see physical media phasing out, at times like this, it definitely needs to still be around, especially when Horizon Zero Dawn, the re-release, which Sony's charging you for $10, Sony is now charging you double for the base model that's already in digital form on PlayStation 5 store to try and sucker you and get into that $10 one. This right here is a prime example of what happens in the all digital future when you don't have options to buy physical media. When physical media leaves, you are at the mercy of the merchant, in this case PlayStation, in terms of how they price gouge you and how they go about things from this point forward. Granted, Sony does have those digital sales and those summer deals or whatnot. They do have those. But that's not going to stop them from doing what a business does, and that's look for any way to get more money out of you. Very simple. So, and it's bad enough, too, if you think about it, how they already dictate how we can buy PlayStation Plus. You remember before we could stack memberships on PlayStation Plus. Now we can't even do that. You're locked into everything of the nature. You don't have options. You don't have the freedom to buy what you think you can, and it's only going to get that much more restrictive in an all-digital future. PlayStation 5 Pro has, it was already going to be in a sticky situation as it was. And the main reason why it was going to be in a sticky situation is because the PlayStation 5 Pro didn't feel necessary. PlayStation 5 games already looked amazing and still look amazing. They play amazing. In the right hands and in the right studios, we're getting some of the best looking games we've ever gotten. But of course, a lot of people look down on this and don't pay attention to what we already have, and the simple fact that we haven't maxed out the PlayStation 5. That's another critical point people don't talk about. That's right, we haven't even maxed out PlayStation 5, and the main reason why we have not maxed out PlayStation 5 is because PlayStation 5 has been in competition with itself in regards to the PlayStation 4. We still been in cross-gen since the PlayStation 5's relaunch. That's how things have been with PlayStation 5. It has been PlayStation 4, literally crossplay, since the launch. In comes PlayStation 5 Pro, and we're still in that. After the state of play that we just got, we still got cross-gen games with PlayStation 4. So, to all of you saying this is for the enthusiasts, there's a lot of copium. People say, well, PlayStation 4 Pro didn't sell out day one, yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing, a lot of you are missing a big critical point. PlayStation 4 Pro was only $50 more than the base model PlayStation 4. It was a nice, compact, tiny upgrade, not a substantial upgrade, but it was a nice little upgrade just to give you a boost for VR and VR. I forgot, whatever the hell they were doing. HDR, there you go. That's what they were doing. That's it. You got a slight improvement, and you got a slight visual, upgrade. That's it. It was nice for what it was. It wasn't meant to, it was meant to prolong it for a little bit, not to be this crazy upgrade. PlayStation 5 Pro is $700 just for the base console and a controller. The stand is not included, and the disc drive is not included. If you want the stand and disc drive all together, you're paying upwards to $900. This is a terrible sell to any casual in 2024 going into 2025. This is a terrible value to try and sell to anyone. There is no ifs or buts about that, and it is okay to be honest. Notice I'm not screaming. I'm telling you, it's okay to be honest. So many of you are afraid to be honest, and it's showing. It's really sad. I understand if you want to champion PlayStation. I've done it for most of a good chunk of my life. I've championed PlayStation. PlayStation saved me from depression at a worst part of my life. I have been loyal to PlayStation since PlayStation 2. PlayStation has always been home for me. But just because, I'm being vocal, I'm telling you this from the heart, man. I don't feel the love out of this. I don't think that this is a right look for PlayStation, and it's a terrible situation that we are in for the future. You cannot damage control this and say that this is right for anybody in the long run. You cannot tell me that, buying this and saying that PlayStation consoles, etc., need to be on the level of PC is good for casuals and good for gamers. It's not. Consoles have never, actually, let me rephrase that. Consoles did have their time when they were more powerful than PCs, especially the PlayStation 3. But you guys saw what happened with PlayStation 3. Sony got a little too ambitious, and that was $600, and that led to one of the worst starts to any generation. But they did bounce back overall. But consoles should never be in a conversation where they're competing with pre-built PCs that are ranging from like $900 and up. They should never be there. Never. And to all of you that are, so transfixed on saying stuff like, well, console gaming, is less expensive than PC gaming, I think you might want to reevaluate what you're saying here, because now dudes are damage controlling and accepting paying $10 for something that you should already have for free due to you getting the PlayStation 5 Pro, and that's the Horizon remake that no one asked for, or remaster that no one asked for. That remaster should be free for PlayStation Pro users, period. That should be your tech demo for PlayStation 5 Pro, showing you upgrades. But no, we have to pay for that. We also got to pay for Until Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, etc. There has been no upgrades that are free for PlayStation 5 Pro. None. Well, okay, except for the ones that are Pro Enhanced, but you get what I'm saying. The ones that are announced. It's none of that. You have to pay for these things. And speaking of these Pro enhancements, let's talk about these Pro enhancements. The lack thereof, at least. I'm looking at this, the main game people are talking about, Final Fantasy. My guy, it looks exactly the same. It's less blurry in the grass. That is all. I'm sorry, that doesn't scream $700 for me. It doesn't. If you really want that type of fidelity, and you really are obsessed with performance, and you really want to be part of this quote-unquote niche club, which, by the way, this niche club is not going to last long, because by the time you get situated with this, you're already going to be buying a PS6. If you really want this performance issue, this performance buff that you guys are so obsessed for, you're in the wrong ballpark. The future of gaming is not just console. You need to have a combination, and that is PC and console. Notice I didn't say just one. I said a combination of PC and console. You can ask any content creator, any gamer in general. They all have a console. They all have a PC. Most game, a good chunk might game more on the PC, and a good chunk might game more on the console, but they have options. They're not limiting themselves. What I'm trying to tell you guys is to get out of this tribalistic nature of, I can't take criticism, but I sure as hell can dish it out, especially when the competition is nowhere near in terms of being brought up. This needs to stop. This is the worst type of deflection I hear. Every time someone brings up an issue of PlayStation, they'll say, well, Xbox sold this amount of consoles, as if that has anything to do with the current state of PlayStation. PlayStation is in its own league right now, and in their own league right now, where they have no competition, no one to set them straight, they're charging you, the player, the one who thinks that they love you so much, they're charging you more and getting over you in general with some of the worst practices that we have seen in a long time. This is not the same attitude we got with PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, we were treated as the first class citizens, and we were given every single thing under the sun, and they literally made sure that they earned our dollar and that we went home happy. PlayStation 5, ever since Xbox has not been a competition to them, and they've had such a straightforward shot to the number one spot in home consoles, Sony has not even tried. And it's showing. The state of plays have felt lackluster. They have not even been on the same energy as the showcase that gave us the reveal, arguably one of the greatest reveals we've had of all time for a console, and that's the PlayStation 5. They have not felt the same. Anybody claiming that they have are full of it, and you know this. So can we stop with this damage control? Can we stop fighting for mediocrity? It's not worth it. Can we stop hyping up a console that's clearly going to show diminishing results as time progresses? Notice Sony had every opportunity in the world to show the PlayStation 5 Pro playing every single game at that at that state of play, and they chose not to. You know why? Because they're not going to be that different in terms of visuals and that far apart in regards to what you guys are seeing a difference in. It's not. That's why they haven't. Ghost 2, I know it's Ghost of Yotai, but Ghost 2 is another prime example, another missed opportunity. The game looks good, but why is it not being shown on a Pro? Why are we hyping up Last of Us comparisons and games we've already played? There's a platform that's already playing those games even better than the PC, and then some. What's his PC? There isn't no win-win here with PlayStation 5 Pro, and it's a terrible situation as we speak. It only gets worse as more and more, as you look at it more and more. It really does. Somebody probably might say, well, what about Death Stranding 2? Big Cloud, Death Stranding 2 looks good. Yes, and you know what's funny about Death Stranding 2? I'm pretty damn sure once we see the comparison between Death Stranding 2 and what we get on the base model PS5 and the PS5 Pro, we're hardly going to see that much of a difference. It's going to be the same thing you're already seeing with, I guess, Last of Us. more, less blurry details in the distance. It's going to be more of the same. If this system is truly for the enthusiasts, because that's the whole COP you're seeing, it's for the enthusiasts. Why aren't every game, or all games in general, let's just put it like that, why aren't all games 60 FPS? See, the enthusiasts want 60 FPS. The enthusiasts could care less about the oversaturation of visuals. They want performance. You're not delivering on that. So therefore, I can't say that this is for the enthusiasts. What this is a repackage of what you guys have already got with PlayStation 5 and the same promise that we got beforehand. Performance this, performance that. When in reality, it's all about visuals, and you see it every single time. If you need a good example of this, look at Spider-Man 2 when we first got the actual gameplay representation. Dudes ran to Twitter. Dudes ran to slander the game, saying it looks more of the same. Dudes was calling Insomniac hacks and all this dumb stuff. But then as soon as they put out the polished version, because they had to put resources into the graphics, all of a sudden they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And this is the situation that we're in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. Console gaming has reached this peak because the community refuses to let go of stuff they really have no business talking about. They really don't. So many of you refuse to let go of this console war, and you're so obsessed with competing with a platform that, number one, is not worried about you. Dudes wonder why PC gamers are talking about console gamers, because console gamers bring up PC in a realm, mind you, that they should not be bringing them up. It's that simple. Console gamers should not be mentioning PC players at all. They should be worried about PC or consoles in general. But the thing is, though, so many of you just can't accept what you have. You have to go to these extremes. You have to go to these ridiculous levels of personal insults and personal attacks over difference of opinions and all this dumb stuff. And you look dumb in the long run. And then you guys be the main ones crying on why PC is getting everything under the sun. I want you to understand something. We're still paying for online. We're paying more for online now. We're paying more for controllers. We're paying more for consoles. We're paying more in general for subscription service, and we're not getting anything worthwhile. Meanwhile, PC is getting everything that we just talked about for free. Minus the accessories like controllers, but again, they're getting everything for free. They don't pay for this stuff. All the upgrades that you guys are jumping out your seats over that you're paying $10 for, you get that on the base version of the game on PC. You don't have to pay all this. And as far as the future for PlayStation, I said this with Fritanga when me and Fritanga did the hot take. Shout out to Fritanga. Literally, if you guys think your feedback is helping Sony, your quote unquote negativity, even though you're not being negative, you're being intoxicatingly terrible-bladed on top of it, but you're being ridiculously positive for stuff that you shouldn't be positive for. Sony flat out said they're going all in further with DEI games. On top of that, they're actually going to be pushing PC even harder than they've already done. I said this with Fritanga, and Fritanga even agreed, and most of you in the chat agreed. Day and date is happening sooner than you think. This generation, the gaming landscape, especially with Sony's plans to go beyond consoles, is happening sooner than you think. I'm sorry, I refuse to be in the echo chamber and tell you guys stuff that I know for a fact is not going to happen. We know for a fact what the future lies. The future lies beyond the console, beyond the limitations of consoles. You want to reach new players. The only way to reach new players is to go day one in all aspects, especially with PC, and literally embrace that group. And by the way, that group will love to embrace those games. They've already proven it with Helldivers. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. And I already know there's going to be some dude. Xbox failed, Big Cloud. That point doesn't make sense. Microsoft has always had their issues with product management, number one. But the main issue that Microsoft faced when they bought Activision Blizzard was the fact that Activision Blizzard was already falling apart as is. There's a lot of restructuring that needs to go with Microsoft in regards to that purchase. Kind of similar to what Sony did with PlayStation 3 after the disastrous launch of PlayStation 3 and just the overall hacking, etc. Sony had to do a lot of, just unionization. They had to do a lot of scrubbing and stuff that did not sell, etc. Microsoft's going to go through the same phase when it comes to some of these studios and vice versa to get things back in the green. That's what's going to happen. But again, that goes back to my point. Every time there's an issue, somebody brings up Xbox. We're not talking about Xbox here, people. Okay? If you can't have an honest conversation about the platform that you claim to champion, you're not a fan of said product. You're just a fan of drama and noise. And that right there is the God honest truth. As far as the future, we'll see as things progress. But honestly, looking at the PS5 Pro not sell out and all that stuff, it definitely puts a little smile to my face because it tells me that there's hope for console gamers still. Console gamers know that there's a thing called value. A lot of you thinking they're calling this a value have no idea what a value is. You really don't. Especially when you're still not getting 60 FPS and you're being charged almost $1,000. No, thank you. This your boy Big Cloud. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tamed version. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I appreciate it. And you guys have a blessed one. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.